Emma stepped through the front door and dropped her bag on the floor. The house felt quiet. Too quiet. She was home for the summer. Her mother had begged her to come back, saying they never saw her anymore. Emma loved her mom, but this house never really felt like home. Not since her mom married Mark 2 years ago. She walked into the living room and stopped. Liam was sitting on the couch. She hadn't seen him in almost a year. He looked different, broader, tired around the eyes. He looked up from his phone and their eyes met. "Emma," he said. "Hi." "Liam." She gripped the strap of her bag. "I thought you were working in the city." "I was." He set his phone down. "My dad needed help at the garage. Business is busy. I'm back for a while." The silence stretched between them. They weren't strangers exactly, but they weren't family either. They had lived in the same house for 2 years and exchanged maybe 50 words total. He was always working or studying. She was always at college or hiding in her room painting. "Cool," Emma said finally. "Well, I'm just going to go unpack." She hurried upstairs, her heart beating faster than it should. She told herself it was just the surprise. The first week was awkward. They orbited around each other like distant planets. Emma would cook dinner and eat alone. Liam would come home late from the garage, covered in grease, and wash his own dishes in silence. They passed each other in the hallway with small nods, nothing more. One night, Emma couldn't sleep. It was 2 a.m. She went downstairs to get water. The house was dark. She tiptoed into the kitchen and screamed. Liam was sitting at the kitchen table in the dark, holding a beer, staring out the window. "Oh my God!" She pressed her hand to her chest. "You scared me. Why are you sitting in the dark?" "Sorry." His voice was calm. "Couldn't sleep. The quiet helps." She stood there for a moment, caught between going back upstairs and staying. He looked tired. Really tired. The kind of tired that had nothing to do with lack of sleep. She sat down across from him. "Bad day?" He let out a slow breath. "Just a lot. My dad's talking about retiring. He wants me to take over the garage permanently." "Is that a bad thing?" "It means staying here." He looked at her. "Forever." He paused. "What about you? Still painting?" Emma blinked. "You know I paint? I saw the canvases in your room once. Door was open." He shrugged. "They were good." It was such a small thing, a tiny compliment, but it hit her differently than she expected. It felt personal, like he actually saw her. They talked for an hour that night, about his stress, about her dream of moving to the city to sell her art, about nothing and everything. It was the first real conversation they ever had. After that night, things shifted. Liam started coming home earlier. Emma started staying in the living room instead of hiding in her room. They developed a routine. She made coffee in the morning before he left for work. He started saying thank you, actually looking at her when he said it. One Saturday, Emma set up her easel in the backyard. The light was perfect. She lost herself in the painting, mixing colors, lost in her own world. She didn't hear him walk up behind her. "You hold your brush like a sword." She jumped. Paint splashed across her shirt. "Liam, warn a girl." He laughed. She had never heard him really laugh before. It was deep and warm. It made her stomach flip. "Sorry." He was still smiling. "I'm going to the store to get parts. Want to come? Get some fresh air?" "You want me to come to an auto parts store?" "We can get milkshakes after. There's a diner near there." It felt like a date. She knew it wasn't supposed to feel like a date, but it did. She went inside to change, her heart racing. They spent the whole afternoon together. At the diner, he asked about her favorite artists. She asked why he loved fixing cars. He told her it was the only time his brain shut up, when he was focused on making something broken work again. "You fix cars to find peace," she said. "I paint to find peace. I guess we're not so different." He looked at her for a long moment. "No, Emma, I don't think we are." The way he said her name made her shiver. A few days later, Emma's mom and Mark left for a weekend trip. It was just the two of them in the house. That night, Emma tried to hang a large canvas in the living room. She stood on a chair, struggling to keep the heavy frame level. She lost her balance for a second. Strong hands gripped her waist, steadying her. Liam was right behind her. "I've got you," he said. "Let go." She let go of the canvas. He lifted it easily and hooked it onto the nail, but he didn't step back. His hands were still on her waist. She turned around on the chair. Now she was looking down at him. His face was inches from hers. "Liam," she whispered. "Tell me to stop, Emma." His voice was low. "Tell me this is weird and I'll walk away." She knew she should say it. It was weird. They were stepbrother and stepsister. People would judge them. Their parents would be confused. It was complicated and messy and wrong. But standing there, with his hands on her waist and his eyes searching hers, it felt like the most right thing in the world. "I don't want you to stop." He pulled her gently off the chair. When her feet touched the floor, he kissed her. Soft at first, questioning. Then she kissed him back and it deepened. His hands moved to her face, her hair. She wrapped her arms around his neck. The world disappeared. There was only him. He pulled back finally, resting his forehead against hers. "I've wanted to do that since I saw you standing in the doorway with your suitcase." "Why didn't you?" "Because you deserve someone who isn't complicated." He brushed her hair back. "And I am very complicated." Emma woke up happy the next morning. She went downstairs smiling, but the kitchen was empty. No coffee, no Liam. She found him in the garage, hunched over an engine covered in grease. He looked up when she walked in. The look in his eyes wasn't love, it was fear. "Hey." He wiped his hands on a rag. "About last night." Her heart dropped. Don't you dare say it was a mistake." "It wasn't a mistake." He set the rag down. "But it can't happen again." "Why?" "Think about it, Emma." His voice was tight. "Our parents. This town. People will talk. They'll look at you differently. I won't let that happen to you." "I don't care what people think. I care." He stepped closer. "I care too much to mess up your life. I'm supposed to protect you, not complicate things." Tears burned her eyes. "You're a coward." She ran back to the house. She didn't look back. For 2 days, they avoided each other completely. Emma stayed in her room. Liam stayed at the garage late. The house felt like a freezer. Every time she heard his footsteps in the hall, her chest ached. She couldn't stay here. On the 3rd day, Emma packed her bags. She was going back to the city early, away from this house, away from him. She threw clothes into her suitcase, angry at herself for ever thinking this could work. Something fell out of her bag. An old photo. It was from her mom's wedding. She was standing in the corner of the photo, looking sad, holding a drink she didn't want. And in the background, standing near the edge of the frame, Liam was looking at her. Not at the bride, not at the cake, at her. His expression was soft, concerned. Even then, he was watching out for her. A knock on the door made her jump. "Emma?" His voice through the wood. "Can I come in?" She wiped her eyes. "Yeah." He opened the door. His eyes went to the suitcase. "You're leaving." "There's nothing for me here." "That's not true." He stepped into the room. "I was a coward. I am a coward. I used every excuse in the book. What people think, the family, the garage." He swallowed hard. "But the truth is, I was scared of how much I feel. I've never felt this way before. It terrifies me." Emma stared at him. "So what do we do?" He moved closer. "We take it slow. We tell our parents the truth eventually, but I can't let you walk out that door." His voice cracked. "I don't care if you're my stepsister. I care that you're Emma, the girl who paints like she's fighting a war, the girl who makes coffee at 6 in the morning just to see me before work." He took her hands. "I love you, Emma." She dropped the t-shirt she was holding and walked into his arms. "I love you too, Liam. I think I have since the night I found you sitting in the dark." He held her tight. "We'll figure it out, together. No more distance." He kissed her again. This time, it wasn't a secret. It was a promise. It wasn't going to be easy. But the best love stories never are. They're about two people who find each other in the most unlikely place: home. Later that night, they stood at the window watching the sunset. Liam's arm was around her. She leaned her head against his chest. "Are we crazy?" she asked. "Probably." He kissed the top of her head. "But I don't care." Sometimes, the family you find is the family you choose. And sometimes, the love you need has been living just across the hall all along,